Hello, everybody. Welcome to the piano lesson. My name is Mofet or Mofet Tolu, whichever one you want to call me. That is perfectly fine. And these videos that we're going to be recording are just going to be showing you some rudiments in piano, playing with other people, understanding some chords, running scales, and different things on the piano. But first things first, you're probably wondering, what is a piano? Well, hopefully, if you're here, you probably have seen one before. But let's kind of dig through what a piano is. So you've probably seen a piano or maybe an electric keyboard. In front of me, I have a Yamaha MOXF8 is an 88 key keyboard. Sometimes you may have a shorter one. Maybe it's less keys on it, but pretty much that is still like an electric keyboard. Uh, Grand piano typically has 88 keys and it's pretty wide. That way you can go from the lowest note to the highest note there and you can play many things in between. But you're probably wondering, I'm seeing so many black keys and so many white keys. Which one am I supposed to press? How am I supposed to know what each one sounds like? And we're going to be talking about that today. So let's first start by looking at the layout of the keyboard or a piano. What you can see here is that you see different groups. You can see we have two black keys here, for example, and then here we have three black keys. So you can see two black keys, a group of two, a group of three, and that can help us kind of find our root in quotes. So whenever you see two black keys, the first white key to the left of the two black keys is typically your C. And there are many C's on the keyboard. So you can go from all the way down here, C0, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6. You can go across the whole keyboard and have multiple C's. And the only difference between all these different C's is that they are all on a different octave. So you can have C0, which sounds really deep. And you can have C5, which sounds a little bit brighter than that C0 that I just played. And so remember what I just said? You see the two black keys to the left of that, that is your C. When you see the three black keys, the first one to the left of that, that is F. And like I mentioned before, you can have F0, F1, 2, F3, F4, F5, F6. And you can see I'm just going in octaves on the F note. And so, well, I just learned about C and F. But what else do we have? So in the keyboard or in music, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We're going to learn which ones those are on the keyboard, on the piano. So remember, this is C. So I look at my 2 here, and I know that that is C. So I'm going to ask myself, well, what is next after C? We have D, E, F, G, A, and B. And please, when you go from G, there is no H, I, J, K. This is not kindergarten. We're not learning our ABCs. We're going C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So piano pretty much goes from A to G. Music goes from A to G. If anybody tells you otherwise, please, please, please pray for them. Anyways, so we know that this is C. And then we have D, which is the next white key after C. E, F, G, A, B, and look at that. Miraculously, that's our C on the next octave. So let's walk through that again. So we have the two black keys here, and we see that that is our C. We're going to go D, E, F, G, A, B, and look at that. Two black keys right there, and we're back at C. So now we just learned pretty much the A to G or C back to B on the keyboard. But now, what about the black keys? What are they there for? Well, they're not just there for decoration, of course. They do serve a purpose. So when we look at the black keys, we can begin to learn about something called sharps and flats. What are sharps? What are flats? In the keyboard space or in music, pretty much a sharp is a half step forward, and a flat is a half step backwards. So let's try to make sense of that. We're on C right now. When we go to G, we kind of jumped this. We neglected this black key. So what is that key right there? This is C. And so if I'm walking forwards, this is going to be my C sharp because I just walked forward from C. C, C sharp. Do you see? So this is C and this is C sharp. But some people may call this D flat as well because this is D, and if I walk backwards, that becomes my D flat. And so based off of that, I can know that this is C, C sharp, or D flat because I'm going from D a half step backwards. And then another half step forward is D. Now if I take a half step forward, I can go to D sharp, also known as E flat, because I'm walking a half step backwards from E. And so sharps, you're pretty much walking a half step forward, and flats, you're walking a half step backwards. Now let's go to E. Now after E, I'm looking for E sharp. There is no black note, so technically your E sharp is your F, because when you take E and you make it sharp, you're pretty much going to F. So you can see C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, pretty much known as F, and now F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, and then we have B and B sharp, which is back to our C. So now what if we're walking backwards? We could also think of them as flats. So this could be C, C flat, which is your B. Most people would never call it that. They would just say it's B, but you can have B flat if you walk a half step down. If you go back, that's A half step down, A flat, another half step down, that's G, another half step down, that's G flat, another half step down, that's F, another half step down, that's your F flat, but most people will call it E, another half step down, E flat, another one to D, another one to D flat, and now you're back at C. So this is the main thing about sharps and flats. So we have at a total 12 notes on the keyboard. So from C to B, all the way to B, and then we have different sharps and flats. So let's quickly walk through all the 12 notes. So we're gonna call them in sharps this time around. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Those are our 12 notes. So if you counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And just to make it interesting, I just played the chromatic scale. In the next video, we're going to be learning some more about scales. We're going to be learning some more about playing solfege and how to make some more harmonies outside of just knowing what the piano is. See you there.